On this edition of Lexington Now, the Firefighters Toy Drive, CASA's Angel Tree, and fighting against domestic violence. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of November 7th, 2022. Lexington's fire department has kicked off the annual Firefighters Toy Drive to help the less fortunate this Christmas season.
This is 92 years that we've been serving the children of Lexington. That's a long time, long before my time, and hopefully it'll continue long after my time. We want to start with thanking Rex Jacobsma. One of the biggest challenges of the toy program is to find a building that we can use that will be big enough, 10 to 20,000 square foot. This is a big program and it takes a lot of space. Last year we were able to get the old Valvoline complex at 3475 Blazer Parkway, and the gentleman that owns it came through again this year, and we have the building again, and that's very great to our program. We have a website, lfdfof.org. I really wanted to use this opportunity to special thanks to E-Link Designs. They are a website builder here in town. I reached out to them about getting our website fixed. They have made an amazing website. If you need any information about the FOF, their information about our toy program, donations, it's all on there, and it's amazing. Any possible way that you could donate, from buying toys to donating money, all of that is on there. Our sign-ups will begin next Monday, this coming up Monday, November 7th through the 15th. That information will be on our Facebook page, Lexington Fraternal Order of Firefighters, and it will also be on our website. All the sign-up dates, the location, the times, that will all be on there. That is in English and in Spanish and multiple other languages. The city has made great strides to incorporate multiple languages into our addresses and our websites. This website has about 7 languages that we can communicate to, so that is important for everyone to know. Our Chuck Williams auction is December the 11th. That's our main fundraiser for our program. The money from that program helps us keep this going year to year. The toy giveaway day will be December the 17th. That's when the families will come shop for the toys for their children. It's a very special day. The looks on the families' faces knowing that they have some presents for their children for Christmas. The firefighters love that part. We have hundreds of volunteers that come in and help us with that. We started a special thing last year with Amazon. We have a wish list on our Facebook page. Because of COVID, we had to be very responsible with making sure that we were cutting down on contact. Well, that left us with a lot of problems in getting toys from the public. We put donation bins out in front of the fire station, so you can bring a toy that you buy to a fire station, a new unwrapped toy, or, this is pretty exciting, but you can go straight to our website, click on the link to Amazon. We have a wish list set up with the things that we know that we're going to be short on that we need. Those items, once you purchase them, it'll ship them straight to us at the North Pole. We've already received, just from putting it on Facebook, we received hundreds of toys from that alone. This is probably going to be the new way that we'll get a lot of toys. So keep that in mind. Thank you very much. I'm excited for everyone to be here. Thank you for the public out there who supported us all these years. And also to the families, we will have a great Christmas program for you guys and get toys to your children. Thank you.
92 years. This great program has made sure for 92 years that our community's children wake up Christmas morning to gifts under the tree. It's an incredible record of service. This program was born in the early years of the Great Depression. By the way, the favorite toy in the first year of the toy program, which was 1931, was finger painting. I think it's still around, right? It's continued through our economy's ups and downs. And there's a lot of hard work involved getting toys under the tree for about 2,000 local children. but Lexington is home to hundreds of elves who always want to help. Our firefighters who volunteer to run the toy program, and generous businesses, citizens, churches, community groups donate the toys. And so I want to thank all the firefighters who make this happen every year. And in their honor, it's my pleasure to donate a toy fire engine to Chief Wells, Lieutenant McFarland, and the FOF, and y'all can figure out who's going to take it here. This is one of my favorite toys. It's Lego. Looky here. There's a fire engine. Let me show them over here. How cool is that? Congratulations on your hard work. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you so much.
In keeping with the theme of helping others during the holidays, CASA launched its annual Angel Tree program during a press event. Here's more.
CASA of Lexington does serve Fayette, Bourbon, Woodford, Scott, Jessamine, Garrett, and Lincoln counties now. But you will see on the tree behind us here, all of these children are from the Fayette County Family Court System. And what our CASA volunteers do is they provide an independent voice for one child at a time and focus solely on what is best for the child. So their role is very different than every party that is involved in the court system. But they provide information to the judge to help them make a more informed decision on behalf of that child so they will have a safe and permanent home. The CASA volunteer is a constant source of support for a child who may have very little structure or support in their life. Changes for the children we serve happen daily. They may be switched from foster home to a new foster home, which could mean a new school, a new teacher, a new attempt at making friends. And the uncertainty of what life holds for these children can be very overwhelming. The CASA volunteer is there to help recognize what the child needs and to help minimize the detrimental changes in that child's life and work for a positive outcome. Today we have 234 children on the tree, all here from our community. We would like to thank our family court judges, many of whom are in court right now, our DCBS social workers, our CASA volunteers, friends of CASA, and all of our CASA staff members for what they do for our community. Now I'll share a short story about one of our children before I turn it over to Mr. Jim Frazier with McBrayer. One of our CASA volunteers recently shared this story about a child they have been advocating for several years. He is currently 13 years old and has been in the court system since he was 7 years old. When CASA was appointed, the child was out of control and had significant behavior issues, and the judge said, quote, "This 7-year-old is headed to prison." Due to his behaviors, he was in 12 different placements, moved from school system to school system, and his behaviors continued to escalate. He was failing his courses and headed nowhere positive. The CASA volunteer formed a bond with the child and noticed he was very interested in American Sign Language. She also noticed it appeared that he had some hearing difficulties. She recommended in her court report a hearing evaluation, and the results showed that the child was actually deaf. His CASA volunteer since advocated for him to attend Kentucky School for the Deaf, where he has begun learning American Sign Language, and he also received cochlear implants. Since attending KSD, his behaviors have greatly mellowed. He now finds himself on the all A and B honor roll, and he is in a stable foster home that has plans to adopt him. Without his CASA volunteer, this happy outcome likely would not have occurred. Thanks to CASA, this youth is now on track to becoming a contributing member of our community. I firmly believe CASA is one way to break the cycle of abuse and neglect, and urge you to consider becoming involved with CASA this upcoming year in some way. I really believe we all have a role to play, and there's a role for each of you.
Every year, this event reminds me that we have a warm, caring community. We always step up as a community, no matter what the challenge is. And Lexington is blessed with kind people here. Many of them have a heart for children. And through the Angel Tree Program, USA, CASA, court-appointed special advocates, we make sure local children in need have a good Christmas. All children deserve a good Christmas. And CASA and its dedicated volunteer advocates serves a very special purpose in our community. In difficult situations, their focus is on what is best for the child, always, the child. And advocates work to minimize changes for kids, make sure they can have some steadiness in their lives and stability. Each year there are dozens of children who are waiting for a sponsor through this special tree. And I know that people always find a way to help. I think, within 5 minutes, just about, the tree is stripped, right, of envelopes, which is a really great thing. That's right. So you all make our city a great place to live in, and we're thrilled to be here to support the angel tree and what it means to all these children who need an angel in their lives.
2, 1.
When we come back, combating domestic violence.
It's time. It's time to get honest about domestic violence. It's time, Lexington.
Lexington, it's time.
It's time.
Domestic violence is a community issue, not a private matter.
It's time to get honest.
We all know someone who has experienced domestic violence.
It's time.
Lexington, it is time.
It's time.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. Lexington leaders have announced a new initiative against domestic violence. It's Time is the first in a 3-phase project.
The city has had a focus on domestic violence for many years, and we're very proud of the work of the Domestic and Sexual Violence Prevention Coalition and also of the work our police department does. This year, we have had a significant increase, as many of you know, in the number of homicides related to domestic violence. About 1/3 of our homicides in Lexington this year are related to domestic violence. Last year at this time, we had 0 homicides related to domestic violence. This is a huge increase. We are taking action. We've started working with a public awareness campaign called It's Time. It's time to get honest about domestic violence, and it's time to be public about it. We have called the community together, judges, advocates, survivors, prosecutors, and residents to speak up and say, it's time, Lexington.
So the mayor asked the members of the Domestic and Sexual Violence Prevention Coalition to put this prevention campaign together using their knowledge and experience of the people that have been doing this work for a long time. And we're very grateful for her trust and support in the effort, for recognizing how important this issue is, and for understanding that it affects all of us in this community. So this is a local campaign. The committee that put this together was very clear from the beginning that they wanted Lexingtonians speaking to Lexingtonians, saying this is what is happening in our community, and it's our responsibility as a community to prevent domestic violence. We're asking people to speak out, to be honest about domestic violence, about who is experiencing it, about who is causing harm through domestic violence, and to be honest about how we have probably contributed to it. Every one of us can do something to support survivors, hold people accountable who use abusive behaviors, and eliminate the factors in our community that contribute to domestic violence. This campaign has 3 parts. It's time to know about it, it's time to talk about it, and it's time to do something about it. Domestic violence is a complex issue, and there are lots of things that are misunderstood. So we want to get some truth out there for people to understand that it's the abusive behavior that is the problem and not anything the survivor does or doesn't do, and how everyone has a role in preventing it. We want people talking about this issue because if you can't talk about a problem, if you can't acknowledge it, you can't solve it. And so we are encouraging people to start conversations in their workplaces, communities, and neighborhoods. And it's time to do something about domestic violence. There are many things individuals can do to help prevent domestic violence, and many of which are listed on our new website, www.itstimelexington.org.
I am a witness and the household of domestic violence. And I can tell you it's important because no matter how adjusted you are or you think you are, it wears on you. You're never fully able to understand or get rid of it. It's important because there are people out there who see things and don't speak up. It is important for the victims that we protect them. It is important for those who are administering the violence that they get help. When you see something, hear something, say something, and do something, we are all part of this problem. We need to all be part of the solution. We can no longer stand back and not do anything or say anything. So it is important when you see domestic violence happening that you're quick to help the victims, quick to get help. And let me be clear, any form of violence perpetrated by a person or entity in power and influence who uses that power and influence to abuse victims who are powerless, who are unable to protect themselves or do anything about it, any form of violence is wrong. So speak up, Kentucky. Speak up, America. It's time that we no longer stay silent and keep this in the shadows. Because if we don't do something, there are people who carry it around for a long time. And if we don't do something before it's too late, more people will die.
This week is Lexington's official Week of Valor, honoring those who have sacrificed so much for our freedoms.
This week starts our city's Week of Valor, a time to hold events across our community to display our thanks and appreciation to our veterans and their families. I am so proud of those in our community who have committed a part of their lives to serving our country in the military. It is so important for our community to recognize those who have sacrificed to defend and secure our freedom. Over the past several years, Lexington has worked hard to become a great place to live for veterans. We formed our Commission on Veterans Affairs. We are the host city for the Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame, which honors veterans who have continued serving their communities after their military careers. In 2019, we announced an effective end to veteran homelessness in Lexington. We have housing for veterans immediately, and then they go into a system of resource help. I've sent off honor flights and served as a guardian on one of those flights. And our city serves as a host for the Week of Valor. But we know it couldn't be done without the time and dedication of Phyllis Abbott, who's with us today, Reverend Jim Thurman, Mike Sparks, where'd y'all go, and the VRUC volunteers, as well as Brian Engel and the city's Commission on Veterans Affairs. Thank you all so much for all your good work. Organizations that have worked hard to support local veterans include VRUC, Lady Veterans Connect, our American Legion and VFW locations, NAB Vets, Lexington VA Healthcare System, Disabled American Veterans, Volunteers of America, and many, many more. As many of you know, my family is a military family. My husband, retired Major General Charlie Gorton, served a full career in the Army, and both of our children are part of military families right now on active duty. I've lived through the times of a son serving overseas during wartime, not able to talk with him and not knowing whether he's safe or not. I've traveled with my husband to other countries where he has served, and I know it's not easy being a military spouse, but it is so rewarding. As a registered nurse, I worked at a military field hospital in Germany. I understand the support needed by our service members who are injured during service or veterans who need care. And so personally, I want to thank everyone here today who supports our veterans. I also want to thank all of those who have served in our military and the family members and friends who have supported them. Now it's my honor to present a proclamation to our VRUC co-chairs. Whereas Lexington honors and supports veterans who have committed their lives to protecting our nation, and whereas Veterans Resources United of Central Southeastern Kentucky, VRUC, works hard to support those who have committed to serving in our military, as well as their families. And whereas with the work of VRUC, the Lexington Commission on Veterans Affairs, NAB Vets, and several supporting organizations, Lexington holds many events in appreciation of veterans. And whereas during the Week of Valor, we will celebrate all of our veterans. Now, therefore, I, Linda Gorton, Mayor of Lexington, do hereby declare November 5th through the 12th, 2022, Week of Valor in Lexington. Thank you so much to all of you. Who would like to, do you want to hold it? Hold it?
It's election week, so it's a bit quieter at City Hall, but we still have gavel-to-gavel coverage of city business for you, here or streaming online. And remember, for the most accurate and up-to-date information on all city business, check out our website at lexingtonky.gov. Here's this week's meeting coverage. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media. Check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.